Good evening, tubes. Shop guy here. Okay, took a little bit of a time off here over the winter months. Wasn't really much going on during the cold months. I had some saws in and some chains to do and whatnot, and I thought I haven't made a video in a while, so I think we're going to do one that is shop related tonight. And it's not necessarily going to be a tool that's used to actually do any work, although it will aid in doing work out here as a matter of taking care of a comfort issue. We're into the summer months now. Last couple days the high has been around 80 degrees, and it's going up from here in Ohio. And we've got Memorial Day weekend coming up. And we've been pretty busy this spring. We've had some mowers in, and we've had some weed eaters and some other things. We've had chains. We've had leaf blowers. And speaking of leaf blowers, I nabbed this little puppy up for $30. And going to make good use of that Steel BR400 backpack blower. We're going to do a review on that when it's completely done. But tonight's video is actually going to be a review of something else. We're also going to do a review on this Husqvarna mower when I get the back wheels for it. But what we're going to do is the review tonight is on this bad boy. I had got this fan probably 30 years ago. Former teacher of mine had given that to me as kind of a little incentive to bring my algebra score up. I was failing horribly in algebra my sophomore year, and no matter what, I just wasn't getting it. And he says, "Brett, if you can bring your grade up from a D-, which is where you're sitting now, if you can bring that to at least a C+ or a B-, I've got just the fan for you." So needless to say, I took interest in it and was able to pull a B+ the final quarter of the school year. Came in the last day of school, and there sitting on the bench was this. It didn't have the pedestal on it. I added that several years later, but what we're looking at here is a Dayton 24-inch high-velocity industrial fan. This is like what you're going to see used in a warehouse or a factory. It's a pretty windy machine. Anyway, let's take a look at it here. The base was given to me by a former employer that worked in a power plant, and they were getting rid of some old fans, and they'd gotten some new ones, and they got rid of these old bases, so he nabbed one up for me, and I mounted the fan head on it. But let's take a look at the motor on this thing. I believe, if I can remember the specs right on this motor, it's 1/4 horsepower, 1725 RPM. I believe it's a 4.4 amp motor, maybe 4.6, but I added the long cord to it and the switch. And several years ago I put a new blade on it because the original blade, the blade itself, was coming loose from the hub that mounts it to the motor shaft, and it was kind of wobbly and it was making all kind of racket, and I thought, well, better safe than sorry. I had an outfit order me a new 24-inch blade through Granger's and a coat of yellow paint on the guard, and this can pivot up or down, put it right where it's at. But anyway, enough talking about it. Let's turn this sucker on. I oiled the bearings in that the other day when I brought it out of storage for summer use, and she runs pretty good. But let's take a walk around and see the business side of it when she's up and running. Gonna get some wind noise. I'm probably back from this fan about maybe 20 feet, and I'm getting a big windstorm from it here. I'll step to the side so you guys ain't getting the blast of wind. But it's a little noisy. I mean, I wouldn't use this in a house, but for out here it's perfect. But with the summer months coming up, that thing's going to be well appreciated out here. But yeah, we're going to have a Memorial Day weekend coming up, so the shop's going to be closed and I'll be out of town. But anyway, let's cut this thing off now. Hear the centrifugal switch kick back in. Yeah, pretty smooth running fan for as old as it is. That's probably why it's still around, is because it's an oldie, but it's a goodie. Anyway, folks, we're going out of town this weekend for a reunion for Memorial Day weekend, so that ought to be fun. So all I have to say is you guys have a safe and wonderful Memorial Day weekend, and be safe. And if you're going to drink, please leave the driving to somebody else. But anyway, we're going to cut off of here. We're going to upload this, and we're going to go from there. This is the shop guy out saying God bless you guys and have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend.